What's going on, everybody? King of Chaos here, sitting in the car, ride back to Queens with the boss man. He's going right ahead and he's sharing this, and by all means, you should feel free.
Fuck off.
You should feel free to share it as well.
You motherfucker. Who won that one? Yeah, jerk off. I'm trying to share this now. I was rudely interrupted.
Well, there you go. Joe is full of piss and vinegar today.
The guy's fucking beeping the horn.
Joe doesn't like horns to be beeped. We're glad you can join us. This is the special early edition. The boss man is trying to get to work a bit early because there is insane traffic, which means you guys are probably going to be with us for a little while. So we thank you so much for joining us. And yes, Gina, I love how he gets mad as well. It's hilarious, is it not? He is probably the funniest angry driver that I've ever come across in my life. But tremendous. So, as always, we're here to answer all of your questions, comments, critiques, anything you want to throw at us. We are very interactive. We'd love to chat. By all means, feel free to comment, do whatever you'd like to do, and share this. Bring more people in. Show some love. I'm going to have to direct this guy in the midst of doing this. So this might actually be pretty funny, because Joe has, I don't know if he has any idea how to get back to where we're trying to go. Do you have any idea? All right, good. Joe knows what he's doing, so we're just going to start talking about stuff. So there are a lot of interesting things, that we could talk about. Last week, I believe we were still talking about jobbers and things like that, correct?
Sure.
We were still kind of on jobbers, doing all that stuff. This week, I had the idea of going...
See how I just passed everybody, you see? I learned this from going to Gleason's all those fucking years. I was being backed up all the fucking time. Alright, now we were discussing.
I think Joey has a maniacal laugh almost as good as Ted DiBiase. I'm just saying. Anyway, so let's talk maybe about some of wrestling's best and worst non-wrestling talent. What do I mean by non-wrestling talent? I'm talking commissioners, I'm talking managers, I'm talking people who were not active wrestlers or on the active wrestling roster for, I guess, an extended period of time. I mean, Vince McMahon wrestled matches, Shane McMahon continues to wrestle matches, but I wouldn't consider those guys wrestlers. They're more the non-wrestlers. Then we can talk about managers and all that stuff. So let's start straight out just with managers. Who do you think, in your opinion, is the best manager of all time? Which is a hard question because you're going to have to go like a top three.
I would say Heenan number one. Just because, look at all the talent he had in his
Right, but that's booked. They could have, you know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
They don't pick their talent.
But it's a way to get these guys over.
He also had the Brooklyn Brawler and Terry Taylor, which should negate literally everybody he's ever had that's on a dime.
He was able to get guys over. He got over the Brooklyn Brawler.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Fucker was never over. He got him over enough to feud with fucking Cock-a-doodle-doo man. There you go. That's over.
Fine. All right, so who's the greatest manager in your eyes, Jake?
So, a lot of people would say Bobby Heenan, and I can completely understand the argument for Bobby Heenan. To me, I guess maybe it's just because I was born in the late 80s where
he was done.
Well, he was pretty much done as a manager. His commentary, without a doubt, the best color commentator.
Him and Monsoon?
Him and Monsoon, honestly, were the best.
Him and Shivani, I was like,
Yeah, well, I mean, him with anything is great.
Him and Monsoon are classic.
Right, that is an absolute classic. You can't deny any of that. So to me, I think his real shining, his real legendary status to me was, behind the announce table. Personally.
And I would disagree. I grew up with Heenan. Don't forget, we have 10 years.
Colonel Robert Parker, hands down, fuck everybody else.
Is that Tom Zuba?
No, that's Tim. That's right. You know what? I got to give credit. Colonel Rob Parker is honestly one of my favorites of all time.
Nah.
Oh, he was great.
It's hard for me to give the guys in that company more than the guys on WWE.
Dude, Robert Parker was the best. Oh my God, he was so fucking entertaining.
I want to stay on managers. Me and Scotty actually said that we were talking the other day about wrestling in the kitchen. And we said about managers, and he's naming managers, and I'm like, there's one manager that everybody forgets, and he has longevity, and he certainly has a lot of tag team champions. It's Captain Lou Albano.
Fuck him.
Remember that big cameo?
I was just gonna bring it up.
Slob?
No, see, I mean, Captain Lou certainly is up there, but I don't know. I listen to if you listen to Captain Lou promos, it honestly just sounds like gibberish, and it might be the time.
I'm so elated.
Yeah, Captain Lou, I'm talking to you. It's like, oh, you fucking coked out cocksucker. My pick for the best manager of all time, personally, Jim Cornette.
But it only managed really a handful of that. Of guys.
Right, and he was that fucking good. He was. I mean, you can't deny that.
You think of Jim Cornette, you think of the Midnight Express.
Right, but if we're going by who they managed, then Bobby Heenan and J.J. Dillon should be at the top. But to me, J.J. Dillon's the most fucking boring manager in the world. He stood there with his fucking hands crossed. Like,
I don't think the Horsemen needed a manager.
Right,
anybody. That's the one group that definitely didn't.
Anybody could go out there and manage Flair and Tully and Arn and over. You could fucking send Jimmy Doo-Doo out there and he'll be fine with it. You know what I mean?
Managed Stud, he managed Bundy, who weren't great talkers. He managed Haku, who didn't talk.
Right, he's an amazing fucking talker. There's no denying. Heenan was an amazing pro.
I don't think that
but
Rick
Cornette
needed him. I don't think
Cornette
needed him.
To me is a guy who helped to make the matches what they were. As a manager, he was just as valuable as anybody else. I certainly think Paulie is up there, but I also, again, personally, I feel like Paulie's legendary status comes from being the guy who booked ECW, the guy who was the authority figure at ECW, okay. And honestly,
that's Paul Heyman.
To give the credit to Paul E, you got to go with what he's done with Brock Lesnar. It's phenomenal. He does amazing work. His promos with Brock have been great. Again, you want to talk about a guy who can't talk and getting sold by it? Well, there you go, brother.
Look what he had before ECW and WCW, the Dangerous Alliance, which is all great guys in there. This was traffic last night. This fucking thing worked out.
Get people with Prince Nana. Prince Nana is another fantastic manager.
Who said Prince Nana?
Anthony Tarantino.
Prince Nana.
What do you know about shrimp cocktail? Ambas. Nana's fantastic. Wonderful talent.
Then it was some of the managers to me that were very like Johnny Valiant or Mr. Fuji, guys like that. Like, who gave a fuck?
Someone mentioned, I think it was James Haynes mentioned Mr. Fuji on here, and like I get that like Fuji is iconic in like his role, especially. I mean, again, growing up as a kid, him and Yokozuna, like, that was a unit.
See, but that to me is the end of his career. To me, growing up was Morocco.
And like Fuji Vice.
Okay, that was that time. Yes, absolutely.
No, certainly. I think, I mean, you can't discount all the shit that Fuji did. Again, keep in mind, when I started watching wrestling, Mr. Fuji was Demolition and the Orient Express. And I fucking hated the Orient Express. I watch them now, and those guys were fantastic hands. But as a kid, because they beat the Rockers at some point, I fucking hated them because of it.
All right, so other non-wrestling.
Well, let's keep going with managers. I don't think we even scratched the surface. Again, Colonel Robert Parker, I got to give supreme credit to. What about Sensational Sherry?
Yeah, I definitely.
Her and Macho Man, that's a fucking unit. I mean, that can't be denied. Like, legit, fantastic
that
work.
Will always be
what a great.
Because of Elizabeth.
I thought Elizabeth was dog shit. Personally,
she was groundbreaking.
Yes.
Nobody else is doing that. She didn't say nothing like what we were talking about before, Precious, and the girls that were yap. She would just come out there and look pretty. And she was part of that package with the Macho.
Right, I think she was great in terms of the fact that she was amazing at getting sympathy. Because she was so good, like, you looked at her and, like, when she would, like...
This guy would treat her like garbage.
Right, like, well, I mean, yeah, but, like, that was the heel shit. But even when he was a baby face, and she would just, like, kind of wince and, like, be upset, and you can see kind of her eyes welling up, that's your sympathy. Like, you're not going anywhere.
Do you want to know who helped that gimmick along with Macho and Elizabeth in the beginning? And you were born yet. It was George Animal Steel.
Yeah, with that angle?
Yeah.
With George being in love with her?
Really helped, because he was treating her good, and here comes the Macho Man treating her like dirt. You know what I mean? That helped build that dynamic.
Right. James Haynes is saying Medusa. I don't necessarily look at Medusa as a manager.
But she did manage to Dangerous Alliance.
Yeah, but I mean...
With Paulie.
Right, overshadowed by Paulie. Yeah. Again, not much. I mean, while we're on the subject of female manager, we were talking about Precious, we were talking about Sunshine, Dark Journey is another one. Best female manager of all time, Joe. Who are you thinking? Who comes to mind? Yeah, it might actually have to be Sherry. I got to give credit. And honestly...
She also managed Hall Heat.
Right. Honestly, that's why I remember a lot. That's also her and Colonel Robert Parker's feud with some of my absolute... Troy says Sonny.
Well, I mean, she managed consecutive... I don't think that's ever been done before. 3 consecutive tag champs in a row. Yeah, she kept going from one to the other.
Dick Island to Dick Island. What? Anyway. I'm going to bring up a name, and you got to give credit where credit's due. Nancy Sullivan, Nancy Benoit, woman was, when she was managing Sullivan.
That's Florida Championship.
It was great.
I didn't know too much about
when she was managing Flair in WCW.
What about
Doom? She was fantastic in that role. This beautiful, beautiful woman who could she would do this like underbite thing that as a kid I would just watch and be like, ugh. It's just gross. Fantastic fucking work. This like underbite where she pulled like her jawline out just when she was pissed at Mean Mug. It's weird. Missy Hyatt. Was Missy really that? I think again, Missy Hyatt.
Like a nuisance.
Missy Hyatt will be remembered as having fucking phenomenal fake titties. But also, I think she'll be remembered as like a talking head backstage in wrestling.
To me, it would be Eddie Gilbert's wife. Growing up, because that's at that time.
But she was managing him then, right?
Right. Family,
See, for me, I think it was her, Missy backstage, getting fucking screamed at by Stan Hansen, which is still some of the most entertaining shit you can see. I happen to think it's fantastic. I think we've hit quite a few. If you guys can think of any other managers as we move on from here, by all means, throw it at us. There's a ton out there that I'm sure we're forgetting. What about? I got one for you, Joe.
Right here?
Big Daddy Dink. Okay. No, not this one. Big Daddy Dink. Oliver Humperdinck.
Nah.
See, Troy says Vicky Guerrero, and I think Vicky Guerrero is a good segue into best authority figures. I don't think Vicky Guerrero is a manager. She's honestly, in my opinion, probably one of the better authority figures WWE has ever had. James Haynes says the Grand Wizard as a manager.
Which one? Prince IK or Ernie Roth? Not Prince IK. Prince, the guy that managed Kamala.
Curtis IK. I'm not a huge fan.
Ernie Roth, you know who that is, right?
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of either, but I mean, I guess you can see maybe I haven't been exposed to it. So I'm going to bring up another name that I forgot. And again, I don't think he'll be remembered as a manager, even though he was a great manager. But I think he will be remembered as a non-wrestling character in wrestling that personally, and again, I'd love for you guys to come out and tell me where I'm wrong or if you agree. But in my opinion, possibly the most underrated non-wrestling talent ever to grace the business. James Mitchell, the Sinister Minister. To me, that is a guy who, his segments on ECW TV were, in my opinion, some of the most entertaining stuff there was. As a manager, was great out there. Such a character. But you weren't a fan of that stuff.
I just don't see it with him.
You also got to see him in TNA in the early stages with Abyss. That's where it was like, all right, this guy can manage as a motherfucker. Yeah, everyone. He's amazing. He's amazing. He's amazing. Yeah, he's possibly one of the best promos ever. And if you guys, I don't know how many of you guys are that. I mean, I'm a huge Sinister Minister fan. If you guys could get a hold of his shoot interview, I believe Ring of Honor did like a straight shooting with James Mitchell. Please, by all means, get your hands on it. He tells some of the best and fucking most hilarious stories. Awesome stuff about the late Chris Kanyon. Awesome stuff about WCW and dealing with like.
I've heard some of his shoots.
Yeah, I think I lent it to you. I haven't. I'm probably going to listen to it within the next couple days because it's honestly one of my absolute favorites.
He did one with somebody else where they were talking. It was him and somebody else. I don't know if it was Raven or Axel.
Yeah, Raven. Where they do the.
I think host some.
Yeah, I think they did it after Canyon's funeral. And they sat down after the funeral and kind of just, told stories and shit. Yeah, honestly, Sinister Minister, super underrated when he would do the ECW TV, like, openings or endings. Oh, super entertaining. And that guy could just... If you want to talk about somebody, like, to pull in for a seminar, I know he's never done them, but as a guy who could do promo seminars, fuck. Sinister Minister, bad motherfucker.
Well, speaking of Raven, we do have a Raven seminar.
We do have a Raven seminar upcoming. That is true. If anybody's interested, hit up the Boss Man or hit up the Warriors of Wrestling page because we have a Raven seminar coming up.
We also have Mike Quackenbush.
We do. Raven and Mike Quackenbush. Two different seminars, obviously. The only thing Slick. The Slick was garbage as a manager.
Slick.
The only thing that Slick was good at is that music video for Drive Soul Bro, which still stands to me to be the most racist thing I've ever laid eyes on. Most racist thing I've ever fucking laid eyes on. All right. Non-wrestling authority figures. Really?
Yep, helped get Austin over. And